Hi guys, this is Dr. Daulton from Hammond Chiropractic, and today I have something really special for you planned. I actually have one of my very favorite patients here. Her name is Dr. Nanos. She is a clinical psychologist, and I wanted to interview her today. And the reason that I wanted to do that was because a few weeks ago I had done a video about stress, and it's probably been one of my most viewed videos on YouTube that I've ever published on there. And what I realized was that this is a big issue for a lot of people, and so I thought I would invite her in to talk to you, not just about her experiences in my office and with chiropractic, but also we want to just kind of focus on mental health here for a little bit, okay? So let me start by just asking her a couple questions. So, Jean, why don't you tell everybody, first of all, who you are, the name of your clinic, where you're from, and whatnot.
Okay. My name is Dr. Jean Nanos. I am from New Harvest Therapy Services. I'm a clinical psychologist, and my agency has another therapist who works along with me. We work in Munster, Indiana, so I've known Dr. Ron, almost 10 years.
It's been a long, long time, right?
Almost 10.
Right. And not only that, but so you come in to see me, and you come in for what we call wellness care or maintenance care. Sometimes you'll hear it referred to as. But also your entire family comes to see me, right?
Mom and my brother and my husband. We're quite the...
See, exactly. We got to keep you guys in shape. So, and actually, that's interesting. I do want to tell this story here. Do you remember when you very first came in to see me?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Why don't you tell everybody what it was that you were experiencing, what your symptoms were, and what we actually started with you with, so they can kind of see what kind of types of patients that we take care of sometimes.
Oh, I don't forget the day I came in to see you, actually. I was in excruciating pain. I had neck pain, and my arm went numb, my fingers were numb. I had been to the emergency room, and all they did was give me the basics, muscle relaxers, take your Tylenol.
The pills,
and then I figured out that wasn't going to work. They wanted to send me to an orthopedist, and I was like, wait a minute, let's try something a little less invasive, for me.
Sure.
So I came in, saw Dr. Ron, and I basically couldn't lay or sit or sleep. My arm was up in the air like the Statue of Liberty for a while.
Yeah, I remember that, because you actually had to lift your hand up just to get any kind of relief from the symptom in the arm. It was bad.
It was.
It was pretty bad.
And he stuck in there with me, actually, because I did therapy for a while, too, because I did some ultrasound, and I did some, and then I started doing the stretches and the exercises when it was enough that I wasn't going to die doing the movements.
Right.
I still do them, actually. And then after that, I took a while, but we finally got it to loosen up. It's, tremendously better. So now it's way, I can't even imagine being back there, actually.
Well, and recently, now I got to brag on her a little bit, okay? One of the things, I'm always proud of my patients when they start exercising. And recently, you just started adding in, working on the elliptical, right?
I did, yes.
Okay.
And I did that because with my job, I sit a lot, and sitting, as we know, can be bad, especially on your back and lower back. My job, I really can't avoid that. I have to sit. So I got an elliptical, and every morning and every evening when I come home now, after I've had a long day of 8 or 10 clients, it's a great way to kind of just get my body back in movement.
And get things loosened up and working the way they're supposed to again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Well, I'm very excited for you on that one, too.
You're the inspiration on that.
Oh, well, thank you. Got to keep you guys moving here.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. Yeah.
Now, I want to talk just a little bit about your clinic now. So let's talk about, first of all, what types of people would you say that you deal with most commonly? What types, if I were just an average person, what would I think in my head that would say, hey, you know what, I should probably go see her for this?
I get a lot of folks who come in who are stressed out, overwhelmed. Anxious is a big one. And sometimes they're just out of sorts, meaning they're not sure if they're depressed or if they're just in a funk. That's a lot of what I see. And when I see them, a lot of the work we do is first I want to make sure they're medically checked. That's definitely the case.
Okay.
Because you never know. Medical conditions can, come out in different ways.
Right.
And I encourage, chiropractic care or whatever route they want to take, but I definitely say get somebody to look at you, like somebody like you.
Okay.
And then a lot of times we work on trying to help them combine, mind and body. So it's, if it's working on coping skills with me to manage your stress, but it's also getting out and doing something, if that's exercise or yoga or whatever it is.
Sure.
And that's a big part of it because that mind-body is just together all the time. And I think people forget that. Sometimes they think I'll just get over it.
Right.
You've seen that, I'm sure, too.
Oh, yeah, it happens in my world just the same as yours, except for us, it's spines.
I'll just power through, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But I used to have a sign in the office, and it said, 5 famous words, maybe it will go away. And, unfortunately, it doesn't usually happen,
I think you have to be proactive. I mean, the body is one of those things that's an active machine, so I'm not sure where we get that it'll just get over it, a lot of times it's like, we have to maintain this. It just doesn't happen.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, and I think the other thing, too, that people don't realize is that your body is constantly changing. It's constantly trying to adapt to the environment that you're in. And when we have health problems, things that are developing within us, a lot of times the body will try to adapt to that. Number one, for your survival. That's the main reason why it does it. But also because you don't want to be hurting all the time. So the brain will cover these things up until it becomes so severe that you've got to deal with it. And I would imagine the same thing is true with mental health, where you try to deal with things to the best of your abilities, but there comes a point where you need some help. You need someone to talk to, or whatever the case may be. And so someone like, Dr. Nanos here is a great resource for you guys if you ever do feel you need that. Now, when a person generally comes to you, how is there like an evaluation process that takes place? Okay, so it's pretty much just like going to the doctor, any doctor, right?
Pretty much, and it's like seeing you. Like the first time you call me, I'll kind of get an understanding of what's bringing you in the door, and then the first meeting, really, it's asking a lot of questions because I don't know you, so I got to get some information.
Okay.
And then I ask my clients to come when we meet that first time to come and say, what brings you in and what do you want to focus on, right? Because we come in and there's a lot of things in our lives. We don't actually, there's so much bombarding us. So if I say, hey, what do you want to work on? And they say, I want to work on stress management, then let's do that. Because I want also to feel that somebody's getting the focus and attention on what's causing the most issue, right?
Oh, sure.
And then they see me. I don't see patients long term. I mean, of course, there's always those people.
Yeah, who need something more regular.
Yeah, but most of them, I mean, folks, it's just like anything else coming to see you. It's a maintenance,
Yeah. Oh, sure. Sure. Exactly.
Yeah.
No, well, I think that's excellent. And like I said, I've known her for a very long time. If there is something that you need in that realm, I strongly recommend her. We're going to have her information at the bottom of the video here for anybody who wants to call her if you do feel like you need any help in this area. One thing I did want to ask you about, too, I've been seeing a lot online about suicide prevention and that sort of thing. And I feel like it's becoming more and more common that we're seeing these types of things, especially in the younger generations, it seems like. Do you notice that with with the people that you work with, as far as that being a bigger issue these days than what it probably even used to be in the past?
I think it is, and we're discussing it more. I think in the past it was sort of one of those under the table, that happened.
There was a stigma associated with it.
Now I think we're talking about it. Also, the Indiana State Department of Education has passed a law where now they're training people. So it's becoming much more prominent where the teachers, administrators, even the janitor is getting an understanding of what are the signs when someone's in need. When should you go get help, and how do you do that? I think that's the other reason we're kind of hearing about it more, and the suicide hotline's more easier to find. There's places here that are open 24 hours a day to help people.
Oh, wow.
So it's made a huge difference. I think that now the stigma's kind of saying, we got to get this out and talk about it.
Oh, for sure, for sure. So, all right. Well, is there anything else you'd like to tell the audience before we finish up here? Or?
I just would hope that you guys would give Dr. Ron a call. He's been amazing to me. And the mind-body connection is a very powerful thing, and we don't really talk about how mental health and really the health of your spine is a big part of it.
Oh, yeah, exactly. So, it's interesting because we're both dealing with the nervous system. Really, you're dealing with it from a thought perspective. I'm dealing with it more from a physical perspective. But you're right, it makes a huge difference. And, but I'm glad you bring that up because a lot of people don't recognize that there is that connection there. We've got to work hand in hand together.
Absolutely, because it changes, in norepinephrine, all those things,
sure.
serotonin, and that's some of the things you end up kind of altering over time as well, that it changes that. So I would just hope you give it a try because I think holistic care is the way we need to go.
Excellent. Well, I appreciate that.
Thank you for your time.
All right, guys. Well, I hope you found that helpful today. We really enjoyed making this video for you as always, and we will see you on the next one.